Nice.
You know,
Geo only rocks the best.
Imported.
I don't think these are the best, but they are really nice actually.
Not
What's
quite as
going on with that
imported as
foxy
Mitch's.
hat you're wearing? Is that some special thing?
Not really. It's a patient advocacy group that I worked with.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
You want to explain more? The fox?
It's I can't. This guy's name I think is Frankie the Fox, and it's for like a rare genetic disorder called Fox G1 syndrome. So
They have their own hat. I don't even have my own hat.
It's true. Frankie the Fox. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool.
I wear it all the time. It's like my go-to. Do I have to start over again? Welcome to the podcast.
We're here. Okay, I guess for Mitch.
I am drinking
Anchor Steam.
This has got a
No keg?
Nice. It's from the keg.
Yeah, this got a distant place in our heart from a keg fiasco turned into miracle, probably later turned into fiasco, where we ended up with a keg of Anchor Steam. And it is not like a light beer. This is not a college beer. This is a one can type of beer. But it's really good. Like, it really is a delicious beer. So
yeah. We talked about that. Was that just our last show? We were reliving those memories, or was that a private conversation?
It might have been a pre-show. Sometimes the pre-show lasts for so long that like it's hard to remember what was before the show and what was
Sometimes
on air.
it just rolls into the show when we get sick of waiting.
Exactly. Chad, what are you drinking?
Water, because I'm sick. In a cup. No ice.
COVID sick.
Just water.
Or at least non-tested positive sick at least.
I tested negative on Saturday with one of those fancy at-home antigen tests. My entire family tested negative, and we've all had this same thing. It's got some staying power, whatever it is. I don't. Who's Peric? Are you?
Yeah.
You're dealing with something too, right? I'm congested and fatigued and just like not bad enough to like call in sick to work, not even close, but bad enough to be kind of irritable about the whole damn thing. You know? Yeah. How about you, Peric?
Yeah, I had a couple of bad days, like really sore throat.
Yeah.
I was legit worried about Peric for about 24 hours.
Well, and then Gio donated an at-home kit for me to take, a test kit. And that came back negative a couple of days after my worst part of the sore throat or whatever. And then that went away, but I've just kind of got a lingering thing. But I just Minnesota still does that free Zoom Vault Health thing.
You did that one.
So they mail you a tube and you get on a Zoom call with them and they watch you spit in the tube to fill it up.
Did I talk about that experience when I had that happen, when I did that a while back?
I don't remember.
I couldn't produce spit. I was so nervous. And so I would be spitting. I was like, is this okay? And it was just like all bubbles. Cause like, you know, when you like are trying to spit, just a lot of bubbles. She's like, can you tap it on the table a little bit? She's like, I'll come back to you. Cause I think she maybe had like 3 calls open or something. She's like, I'll leave and come back to you. And so then she left and I'm like, trying to create spit, can't do it. Thinking about food, like I'm doing all this stuff and I still can't. And so it took like, 20 minutes or something to get enough. And then finally she was just like, yeah, that looks good. Fine. It did not look good. Like there was not enough spit in there, but.
Helpful tip for you, Mitch. So some people take medications that dries them out, and you can produce more spit by rubbing right here, which is where your parotid glands are that produce a lot of your saliva. So if you ever find yourself in a similar situation, start massaging right here, right there.
All right. She should have told me that.
You would think they would have suggested that. I can't get the parallels between this and like a sperm bank out of my head, and I'm just imagining you in a similar scenario there.
Performance
we need more, sir.
I'll be back in 20.
It's okay. No, I'll come back to you. And Mitch is just furiously trying to produce some more. Oh, that's funny.
Fluid.
Sorry.
No, I have the opposite problem almost. Like she was telling me, okay, spit in the tube. I'm gonna leave. Like I'm gonna leave. I'll come back and check on you. And I did my first spit into the tube, and it was like 90% of the way full. And I was too, like, I don't know, self-conscious to be like, wait, I'm almost like, I just
almost done.
Don't like, I don't want to wait for you. Like, I'm almost done. I'm just about finished here.
The sperm bank loves guys like Barrick, just in and out.
We did the same thing with my kids.
Time.
We did the same vault thing with the kids, and they took forever.
Ooh, yeah.
And it was like their only suggestion was like, oh, think about your favorite food. Like, think about bacon. And that was like supposedly going to get my 4-year-old to be able to
spit in a tiny little
puke.
vial. Yeah.
Didn't really work very well, but
I mean,
I'm at the point where we burned through so many of the antigen tests that I don't trust that they like when my kids have symptoms. Like, of course, kids just get sick, and so every time they get sick, we test them, and they always show up negative. And I'm at the point where, like, one of these times it was just a false negative. Like, they had to have had it. Like, they had to have had COVID.
That's the point where I'm
Right?
at. I mean, so have any of the 4 of us had COVID?
I mean, I was certain I had
we're in an
Not tested
increasingly-
positive, right?
yeah.
Right. We are in an increasingly small percentage of people.
Right.
And it doesn't seem quite right.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You hear about people that don't do anything, but like they went to the grocery store and that's where they got
Right.
it. And it's like, I clearly have had this before because I have not been, especially in the last 6 months, I have not been that careful.
Yeah,
Right,
but
like-
you're also vaccinated and
That's true.
boosted, and I don't know, like you're not throwing caution to the wind.
Even so, a lot of the people that you're hearing about now that are getting
Sure.
it are vaccinated and boosted as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
how have I not gotten it at this
Plus,
point?
we all
Because
have major risk factors, which are small humans.
vectors that
live
are
Right.
coming, yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
that can't be vaccinated and are coming in
So-
and out of our house every day. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I actually did a dive into a couple of the like publications for like sensitivity and positive predictive values for the at-home tests.
Uh-huh.
And like the numbers are actually really strong. Like
Right.
especially if you're symptomatic. Like if you have a
Uh-huh.
runny nose, if you have a sore throat, like if you have COVID, they are almost certainly going to test positive, but
Huh.
they are like very much lacking for asymptomatic people,
Mm.
both ways. So it's kind of like, ugh, I don't know.
Right. So if you're like fully vaccinated and you have it, but you're asymptomatic and you don't feel anything and you try to take it to, like we did, that was like what we did before the holidays, right? Before Christmas Eve,
Yeah.
before a bunch of people came over, or not a bunch, but a few people came over. We all tested and it's like no one felt bad, and so we all got negatives, obviously. And it's like, do I really trust? I don't know.
But then you're like adding on multiple statistical points
Right.
on top of each other. It's like if your whole family tests negative, like it's probably pretty legit, more
Right.
legit, I suppose. But I think that's how statistics work.
Yeah, you just add it
Anyways.
all together.
Yeah, exactly. Mitch, what are you drinking?
I think this is my penultimate podcast of actual real liquor.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So I have tonight and next episode, I believe, and then it's off the sauce. So tequila on the rocks.
Mitch, a lot of times addicts of all types get in trouble
Binge
because
before
they have a one, final
final bash.
going out tour before going to treatment, and it's really bad. So I'm a little.
Well, I guess I'll see you in Palm Springs then, because that's like literally by
Goodbye.
design the way I structured this whole challenge
we're gonna
is that Palm Spring was my last hurrah. So
we're gonna have to assign Mitch a buddy while he's there.
All right, drooly face, what are you drinking?
Yeah, drooly face.
That's you, Eric.
Nice.
Did I drool? What?
No, you were
There's
talking
something-
about how you
Produce
just
saliva
like
at
you
a-
just
You
like
and your
Right.
huge load of saliva.
I guess I don't consider it drool, but
guess sure.
Were
Drool
you
is
really
more
just
involuntary. Drool
Tomato-
is involuntary.
Well, I imagine Barrick just like opening his mouth and just like a flood, like going over the edges, like soaking the
Flash flood.
floor,
flash
and he's
flood.
just like, I got like 90%.
My question is, Perrick, were you really just sitting there oblivious to the fact that Gio
I
had
thought I
called you?
I thought I saw in the corner of my eye that you did something with your hand,
Oh.
and I thought like you had spat on
So
yourself.
he was calling me drooly face.
Yeah.
I thought you were pulling one over on us and deciding that your joke's not going to land if I refuse to recognize that I even heard it.
No.
That's a new strategy. It's like a very much a elementary school strategy.
I've got a new brand of rye that I'm trying.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's made in Minneapolis here, right? So, yeah, it's good.
Their
Proudly
gin is
distilled and
pretty
bottled,
good.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
What do they make it out of in Minneapolis? Is that wheat?
It's river water.
It's just lakes
Oh.
and wheat.
Wheat? Is that
yeah,
what
I mean,
all
rye
whiskey is made out of?
I'm not even going to pretend to know. Other than
I don't know.
I think it's a proportion thing. How much of it is?
I was just trying to
wheat
think of a
versus-
grain. I assume it's not corn, but a grain that we have a lot of around here if you have a distillery. Probably wheat.
Could be. Could
And
be.
or
Maybe they make it
might
out of
take
soybeans.
deliveries from
Maybe it's
trucks.
a soybean whiskey.
No, I think it's wheat. Wheat. Rye. I mean, rye is wheat, right?
The whiskey and rye. That's all I know.
Yeah, I like to think of this as bourbon's bolder cousin. If that helps. Does that help?
Yeah, you know what else would be helpful is if
Really good
like,
descriptor. Good original descriptor you had there.
maybe
Yeah.
one of our viewers could Google it for us and let us know in the chat. We
I
could
mean,
all get
it's
educated.
one of the it's one of these things. So many of these things are happening to me now. Like it would be very easy to Google, but once you Google it, you're like, it's a pit that I just don't want to get into.
It's not worth the effort.
Like, it's a simple thing, but it's not simple enough because
Like,
the
what
first
does
article
minting
you
an
read-
NFT mean?
Honestly, that's exactly where my mind went, Mitch.
Yeah.
Was the
Just
the
not
pit
worth
of
it to learn.
knowledge. Yeah. Uh-huh. Well, should we talk about that? Or do we
No. Let's not go there yet. Let's do this in an attempt to become even better guys to know. I guess it's kind of talking about this. Each podcast we take part in an official Good Guys to Know challenge. These challenges, which range from reading Twilight to reading 50 Shades of Grey, last for 2 weeks. So we'll definitely make you a good guy to know. As always, you as listeners are encouraged to attempt our challenges along with us. This is like an extended challenge. This is like a 2-week, 4-week, I guess, technically.
5 week?
challenge. Oh yeah,
Six?
5 weeks.
Could be 6.
made it
Can I get a
way
7?
So- So the challenge was to buy an NFT. And I think we're pretty much just going to talk about NFTs the whole time, right?
Yeah, I got a lot to say, so I should probably go last.
I'll go first. I didn't buy an NFT during this window. But it did bring up questions for me because so all these things that people were posting in the chat, right, of these like cartoons and things, I was not familiar with that side of the NFT world. I think I had described on an earlier podcast that I had bought those baseball card things. I bought those
Oh, yeah,
4
yeah.
or 5 times, which I think are NFTs, but just different than those cartoon things. And everybody was talking about like stuff that was very different than my Top Shot basketball card experience, and similar to figuring out the difference between bourbon and rye. I didn't even want to type it into Google and get started.
It's a rabbit hole of all rabbit holes. It really is.
I was saying to Chad actually pre-show, like, if that rabbit hole and like the time where like my brain is ready for something new, if those line up, I'll become obsessed with it big time and I'll go real deep. But it just didn't happen for me this time, so I didn't do anything here. So I'll put that on the spreadsheet. No points for me.
Are we gonna do a
Yeah.
spreadsheet this year? Are we gonna?
I got spreadsheet. Don't you worry. This is my challenge, so yeah, I'll take care of it. I think this is my challenge.
It's my challenge, actually. I suggested this at the end of last year, and then we carried it over.
He means it's his challenge to keep.
He means
track of
it's
the
his
challenges.
challenge
Keep
this
track
year
of
to
the
actually keep
challenges.
track.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can keep track of the fact that I suggested this challenge, then.
Oh, good job. Good job.
You can also keep track of the fact that I did not complete this challenge.
Oh,
I have so many feelings about this.
I want to get
And I
into
think
some of those because I have
all-
a very different perspective than I had a few weeks ago.
The feeling I think that won out was a little bit of a spice of contrarianism, but also just seems, it just feels too much like the Beanie Baby craze of the 90s to me. And I just didn't want any part of that. I'm not interested. So I am interested in learning all the things that you guys learned and trying to understand it better. But I think it's going to be a tough hill to climb to convince me that these are worthwhile of my money.
I'll go next. I also didn't buy an NFT.
Whoa!
Starting 2022
That is a
strong with a
surprise,
win
but
for
of
Mitchie.
all surprises, Gio, you were inspired this challenge.
It's not for a lack of like effort, I guess, to a certain extent, because I spent a ton of time reading about NFTs. I spent a ton of time on this like NFT purchasing site. It's OpenSea.io.
Mm-hmm.
And really, for me, the only reason I didn't do this are two reasons. One is like getting money from crypto to a wallet to the right exchangeable thing to get these NFTs was like too much of a hill for me to climb. And the other thing was just like totally being overwhelmed by both the quantity of NFTs and the cost of anything that I thought was valuable. Like when you start looking at these websites and see all of the lists of the things that you've heard about on Reddit or like seen people talk about, like CryptoPunks and these like, Billionaire Ape Club or whatever it is.
There's like a million different variations of Ape series.
But these things are like tens of thousands of dollars to get them, and it's just like I just had a hard time. Like I would find one and I would just go read about it and just like go down the rabbit hole of what this thing did or why it was better. But all of them were like way out of my price range. Like I still think I'm a believer, but I'm not a believer for 10 grand. And like the other thing that I think Mitch maybe will get into a little bit more is like, I think some of the more interesting NFTs are the ones that like you are hustling to get, like newly released NFTs where it's like the same thing as trying to get shoes, right? Like trying to land these shoes is you have to be in the right place, putting your all of your energy into getting these at the exact right time, and I just like don't have time for that shit. As much as I want to, I just don't have time for it. So Mitch, I am super excited to hear
gather round, kids.
Like what the heck? I was not ready for this.
Gather round. I don't know how this happened to me either, how I got this bug to get it. I think it was Minnick that bought the first one and like posted it, right? I thought he had bought one of these penguins, and so I was like, all right, I should see what I can do to try. And so we did a challenge 4 years ago that was like buy cryptocurrency, right? Get a Coinbase wallet or something and buy cryptocurrency. And I think we were supposed to buy $100 and I accidentally bought $300 worth of Bitcoin or something in my Coinbase wallet, like 'cause I didn't think it went through, or like blockchain was slow or something happened or whatever. So I had this $300 that's been sitting in there forever. I had, I think, $200 in Bitcoin and $100 in Ethereum. And so my first challenge, like you said, Gio, is logistical, right? It was to get my Coinbase reactivated, see what I had in there. Turns out I had Ethereum in there, and I had, $100 worth in 2017 of Ethereum, which was $950 or something crazy. That's now.
Awesome.
Right? So like it was that classic kind of crypto story where you woke up and it's like, oh shit, I have $1,000 in here, or $1,000 equivalent of Ethereum. So I went to OpenSea, the same site you're talking about, because I think I just clicked on the link that Minnick posted in our Discord and like went out there. I was like, all right, he got one of these penguins, I'll get one of these penguins too. And it's a little picture of a penguin. Oh, you're showing it. Good. I was bringing mine up too.
Yeah, I think Minnick's original one, by the way, was this cool. I actually like this hedgehog guy.
Yes, that was one that he bought as well. Yeah. So, but the penguin, I bought without knowing that Minnick actually created those. So he created a series of 20 penguin NFTs. If you go back to
Yeah, he
way.
said he's
Yeah.
a seller now too. When he posted the first one, I think he said also now I'm an NFT seller.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that just meant that someone bought what he bought or whatever. But then I went to like that profile and I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? And so that's one of the crazy things about NFTs and like minting NFTs. I'm not even going to get into that because I still don't even understand it. But anyway, I bought one of those for I think the USD equivalent of $35. But then there's this thing called gas. Have you guys ever heard of gas?
Mm-mm.
So
Yeah.
this is what really, as I started to think about it, one of the epiphanies I've had over the last week or so is that really shook my faith in cryptocurrency and the blockchain in general. Is these like fees to put something on the blockchain, or these
That's
fees
just
to
Ethereum
like,
that has the gas, right?
yeah, just Ethereum. But Ethereum, I don't know if we talked about this in Investment Club or we talked about this in the podcast, but Ethereum's whole shtick was like contracts, right? Like being able to prove ownership a little bit better than like a Bitcoin, which is just a pure currency. Like you could do these online contracts or whatever. And so I don't know if that means their blockchain is more complex or something, but it takes processing power and it takes miners something that they have to, I guess, be compensated for to put one of these NFTs on the blockchain. So for a $35 NFT of this penguin, like you said, Gio, to like convert it from my wallet to the right thing to be able to buy it, and then you get to the point of buying it, and then it's like it gives you this little warning on OpenSea that's like fees are high right now, like you might be paying a lot. I was like, all right, okay, and I got into it. And it was like $95 to $125 of gas fee for a $35.
Wow.
Right. So, and they say it's due to network congestion, and so I actually watched it a couple days. Like maybe it's just like a really busy time or something. Maybe it just takes whatever, but it stayed that way for like 4 days, and it's still that way. So essentially, if you're going to spend $35 worth of Ethereum on a NFT, you're going to then pay $100 of gas, right? And so that completely shut me down for a little while until I convinced myself, like, hey, this was $100 that you spent 4 years ago. That $100 is now worth $1,000. Do you really care about $100 of gas fees? And I ended up as no, like I don't. And so I paid it. I have number one, the first penguin of Minix, whatever thing. So I'm just catching up on chat a little bit here, but let me. You already showed. Did you show the penguin that I own? Eric?
Let me get back there. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask and load up people's valuable NFTs as emotes in our chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the very like boomer thing and show.
Oh, no, here I got it.
It went away.
So
So number one is mine.
Yeah, I was showing all the penguins. Yeah. So number one, two owners. Or two owners in the whole group here, but you have Disco Penguin number one. Let's find him. I don't know why these are not in numerical order, but it's important that we pick the right one.
So apparently he just built it in Photoshop, or like made it in Photoshop and like made a couple variations of it. And that's what a lot of these are right now, right? Where they're like, he did them all manually, but it seems like, you make a character and you give him like, you make a llama or something, right? And then give him a hat in one version, give him a cigarette in another one. And you can actually programmatically generate 10,000 of them like in a snap, and so now you have 10,000 different baseball cards or NFTs. So that was my first foray. That was like day one or whatever. I got the penguin, felt good about it, kind of learned a little bit about it, but again, maybe one of the most philosophical takeaways that I've had from this is that it shook my faith in crypto in general. If really there's that much utility or like work that has to happen to get something on the blockchain, which it does. So what they say is that that's compensating the miners for whatever, running the processing power to verify that, put it on the blockchain, and keep it there. If that's really the case, that's a problem, I think, for these for not just NFTs, but for contract cryptocurrencies in general. Like, that was abhorrent to me, to have to pay that much, until I realized that, oh, this is just funny money from 4 years ago.
And I think that's going to get worse, right? Because like when you talk about something like Bitcoin that has a finite amount, like at some point in the next months or years, all of the Bitcoin will be mined. So that like drive for miners to try to find new coins is going to be gone. And then the only way that they're compensated is approving transactions.
Right.
So I don't know, like I think there's some cryptocurrencies, right, where all of the coins are already in existence. There's no mining, and they're just all fees. But like Bitcoin is obviously one where there's still mining going on. So it seems
Right.
like if it's a problem now, like it's gonna get worse.
Yeah, and they say, so I did some Googling. That was one of those things that I Googled too, like, when will gas fees go down? And that's another rabbit hole that is not worth going down. They say there's some, Ethereum 2.0 maybe coming out at some point in the future that's going to fix some of these problems, but it's just weird. And so I think actually to buy Minix, you converted to some other thing called wrapped ether. Like, it was a lot of clicking and a lot of like, if I was actually spending money now, like if I had started from scratch today, no way would I be paying those fees to get through to that. And I think that's a real problem, not just for NFTs, but for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general, like taking off.
Mm-hmm.
So that was takeaway one. So then we had a little banter going back in the Discord, right? Chad hopped in, and that's where I want to go next. I want to explore that with you a little bit, Chad, because this has been your reticence to or your cognitive dissonance with the whole NFT thing in general, is that like, it's a picture, it's a digital picture, right?
Not just any digital picture, because there are digital pictures that I might value at $135, but you admitted just not long ago that you spent $135 on a penguin that one of our viewers whipped up in Photoshop.
Hey, don't shit on Minnick like that.
I'm just saying, Minnick, you might have a career in art if you haven't done this before, because Mitch just valued one of your first Photoshop creations at $135. Why did you do that, Mitch?
Well, he didn't
Why
value
did
the
I?
art at $135.
Yeah. What made you think that was worth $135? Explain that to me.
So again, if I was starting from scratch, I would no way would I have spent that. It was because I had this kind of funny money that's already fake to me, right? And then the second part.
Well, hold on. Money is money. You can have that money in your pocket just like the other money that's in your pocket. So you valued it at $135.
Yeah, that's sort of true. But when something you didn't know you had, when you find $20 in your pocket, in your winter coat pocket after a summer, like, you're more likely to spend that on something frivolous than if you went to the cash machine for a specific reason.
Yeah, but it's not logical in any way, shape, or form.
Right, of course. I don't think there's a lot about NFTs that's super logical.
But okay, so but then that, I guess that answers my question. Is it was not, you didn't logically agree that was worth $135.
Correct. So here's the analogy that I keep coming back to, and that I haven't found a good like rebuttal to, is that this is just baseball cards. Right? So I think some of the things that you're saying right now, Chad, are the exact same things you could say about baseball cards. Right? Well, there's zero intrinsic value. It'd be very easy to just if you want a picture of a baseball player and their stats on the back, it's very easy to just...
No, I disagree, because those baseball cards are made by legitimate manufacturers like Topps or Upper Deck or whomever, that only released a certain number of them, which gave them value based on scarcity.
If you have cardstock,
it's exactly NFTs.
It's exactly the same thing.
If you have cardstock in a copy machine, you can make a baseball card that looks identical.
But it's not. It's you have a company.
Yeah, only Topps made that series that year. Only Minnick made these 20 penguins.
Yeah, but I can go and make the same things. I'm not going to go start a company to pump out baseball cards that are then going to be valued at a certain amount of money. Like there's a much.
I can easily go out and find a picture of a baseball player, put his stats on the back of a card, and create a baseball card for myself.
I think you guys are reaching on this. I don't think it's the same because of the fact that these are digitally created. As you said, you can open an app and pump out 10,000 versions of the same thing.
You don't think I can print 10,000 baseball cards?
Yeah, I mean,
On a
there's a
I've
whole
got
valuation market for baseball cards and people who
Are you telling me
authenticity and all that
the
stuff.
baseball cards that you print from your printer, you're arguing should be as valuable as the ones that I buy from Topps?
Absolutely not.
Then what are we saying?
You would take your Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, if you found one. You would take it to some sort of valuation
Appraiser,
and authenticity confirmation
and you get a certificate with it, right?
Yeah.
Like you get a certificate, and that travels around with you when you're going to trade the cards. Like, is this really a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card? And it's like, yep, here's the certificate, right? And that certificate now, but you could also forfeit or counterfeit that certificate, right? In the case of baseball cards, like you could forge that. That's where the blockchain, you can't, right? Like there's a series of NFTs that some person has created. And
I can do that. I can do that with a diamond in a ring as well, but it still has to go be verified by some certification process, right?
Right.
Like a blockchain.
Is the verification process of an NFT.
Here's maybe where it all depends on value, right? And so here's the one caveat with the baseball metaphor is that right now with NFTs, it's like we're at the very beginning where all the baseball cards are getting created. And so you don't know which series of Topps is going to be the most valuable. You don't know if it's going to be Ken Griffey Jr. or some other rando that's going to become super popular. And that rookie card now is going to be, that Mickey Mantle rookie card is now going to be the most valuable. Where there was 500 rookie cards that year, 499 of them don't matter anymore, but the Mickey Mantle one does.
But
right? And
it's even worse than that because the barrier to entry is so low for these. The barrier to entry to producing actual cardboard, cardstock baseball cards and sending them around the country is much higher. How can you disagree with me on that? It means that more NFTs are going to be produced because the barrier to entry to creating an NFT is laughably low. So
but I can take a piece of construction paper and draw a stick figure on it with a baseball bat and say it's a baseball card, but you're going to look at that right away and say that it has less value. You can do the same for Minix penguins. There is some value baked into where these things are coming from, just the same as a baseball card.
That's why I asked Mitch why he spent $135 on this photo.
He didn't spend it on the art. He spent it on learning about NFTs and feeling good.
That's very true.
And that's a problem then.
Right? You only do that once.
But you could also, if we stuck with the baseball analogy, if we stuck with the baseball card analogy, I spent it on some random rookie card in 1952 for some team, right? The likelihood that is going to become a generational player and that's going to be super valuable in the future is very small right now, right? But no one knows, right? No one knows if it's going to be the apes or the turkeys.
Not as small as the random NFT that you bought. I would argue that the random NFT you bought has much less chance of becoming valuable than a random rookie card that you bought from Topps in 1958. Because there are only so many baseball players playing that year, and there are only so many baseball card companies producing baseball cards. That's not true with NFTs. It's not.
So you have a quantity problem. You have a quantity argument where it's in one afternoon, someone can create 10 sets of 10,000 NFTs and just throw it out there. Right?
But you're assuming
that's
that
a
they're
valid
gonna,
argument.
Well, no, but you're assuming that they're going to sell all of them and that they're worth something. There's no guarantee that one of the 10 billion NFTs you make will ever sell. Minix only sold, no offense, Minix, but because you're a fantastic listener. And Mitch was interested, and Mitch had money burning a hole in his pocket because he forgot he owned Ethereum from 5 years ago. All of those things added up to Mitch completely misvaluing what he actually bought. In the real world, you wouldn't misvalue something to that large of an extent. That would be crazy.
But so I think that's what I'm getting at is this. we all recognize that there's a misvalue of this item, right?
Many
or
slash
Geo
most
doesn't.
slash
No. I mean, like,
all
I
are
guess
worthless.
I think I feel like if you're saying that there's a misvalue on this argument, would you also agree that are you saying that digital NFTs have no value across the board?
No, I don't know. I'd have to think about that question, I guess.
Value is a very tricky.
Are you
you can't-
asking me if I think all NFTs of all varieties are all worth $0?
Sure.
No, that's verifiably false because
Okay,
people are paying money for them
Sure.
and
So like
establishing value for them.
yeah, so like what separates something that has lots of value from a penguin?
Well, one of them is how many potential buyers you have. Like,
Yeah,
if,
what if-
other people are willing to purchase that from you for
Yeah.
a price, then that's
What
the
if
value.
what if
It's all in
Jay-Z buys a penguin tomorrow and all of a sudden everybody
Everyone wants
sees that there's 20 penguins? Like
What if
that's
Jay-Z?
I'm
What
saying
if
that's
Jay-Z
a
buys my
non-zero.
autograph tomorrow? That's
Totally.
a non-zero chance too. But what
Yeah.
the fuck are we talking about right now?
I'm just saying, like that's the type of
ridiculous.
value. That's what's happening with these. This is like a total hype play, and there are illogical factors that are changing values of these things.
And I'm saying that you are overconfident in your ability to find one that's going to hit. And you're spending money on that. Or you'd probably be better off pumping that money into scratch-offs.
I think we shouldn't care. I think it's very dangerous to try and figure out what other people should value things at.
Right.
Like, is a
That's
Tesla
fine.
worth $80,000? Is an electric car worth $80,000? That's a real asset. It's not a digital thing. I don't think it's worth it to buy that car. Some people who have a shitload of money say, sure, no problem. I think they look cool. Its value is completely subjective, whether
Totally
it's
true.
whether it's a physical good or a digital good. I would say that most of these digital goods are probably worthless to me, unless there was some proven market or speculation that, like I bought those baseball cards because I had real evidence via some friends who have been doing it or whatever, that you get a random shot at getting something. And sometimes other people who are something like a collector, which is an aspect of baseball cards we haven't really gotten into yet, but trying to complete a set or something. Like, I want to get all of the Minnesota Timberwolves players. And if I get a Minnesota Timberwolves player that I don't care about, somebody might buy it for me for a profit,
That's where baseball cards can help with this metaphor again, because I don't care what you tell me, baseball cards have no intrinsic value. There's no value to that card. Like, there's a piece of cardboard with some ink on it. There's zero value to that. The value is derived from people wanting it.
Yeah.
Right? And it's hard to know what people are going to want, right? And so in 1955, when Mickey Mantle's rookie card came out, no one knew that he was going to be the best ever. And maybe there's a smaller supply, right? But there's NFTs that only have 20. Minix only has 20. Who knows, right? And so
This is just smacks of a false equivalency to say, who knows, anything could happen in the future. Okay,
what if Minnick becomes president?
What?
What if Minnick becomes
president? And
Yeah,
somebody
totally.
finds out
They're
in
gonna be
30
rich.
years that he created 20 NFTs?
God, if that's the case,
And
why
I'm
didn't
gonna
you buy
print
all
out
of them,
so
Mitch?
many penguins and send them to you, Buff. So many printed out
Why
penguins
didn't you?
are coming to your
You
house.
guys should fucking buy the rest of that set. What are you doing sitting here talking to me? That's crazy.
Yeah,
He's going to be president.
Somebody
Go
should.
buy
Why
him
do you
up.
care?
I'm on an opinion-based podcast. That's why I don't care. But I'm here. We're having a conversation about what are NFTs, what's the point, and that was why I led with that question, because I'm honestly curious about why Mitch felt that was worth $135. He valued that.
Perrick described it actually perfectly to me, right? I wanted to learn about it. This is one of those things where you can read a million articles about NFTs and this recent one that came out about the crypto bros that bought the Dune book and are trying to say that means they have rights to Dune, which is fascinating. We probably won't even get into that, but you can read all the articles you want. But this is one of those things that you learn by doing, and you learn by kind of immersing yourself in the culture, which I haven't even gotten into, which I also need to get into because another listener, Kojak, my brother,
deep Deep.
has gotten very deep into something and drew me in a little bit as well. So I do want to get into that as well. But so I've actually taken care of a couple of my points, right? And I think what will segue into that is that I think a lot of people have the same impulse as you, Chad, where it's like, there is zero value here, and this is stupid. You're throwing your money away at something that is absolutely worthless. I think that impulse exists in the NFT community as well. Like, the whole culture is like, we need to have something other than just a picture, right? We need to somehow create some sort of value around these things. And so what's popped up is all of these freaking communities,
Discords,
right? Or these projects. So they call them projects and they call them communities, right? And so once you're an owner of one of these NFTs, you gain access to this Discord or this community with a bunch of other weird, dumb people that are buying these things as well. And so it's like one of these self-fulfilling echo chambers of, this is so great, this is so fun. But there's also just some, like, it's trying to create that intrinsic value.
So the value you're describing there is in a community. You feel
like
exclusive.
a collector, right? Baseball. Sure. We can go back to baseball cards, right? There's baseball card conventions where you brought your Trapper Keeper full of baseball cards and you traded them, you talked about them. Like, that was kind of where the value of being a baseball card collector was.
Then let's follow that for a second. So do you, I guess maybe one of the assumptions I'm making is that there aren't really NFT collectors like there are baseball card collectors that value the set, right? So they go to a convention, they're like, God, this is my pride and joy. Look at this. I imagine the vast majority of NFT buyers, or maybe all of them, looking at it as an investment that they intend to cash in on at some point, like you guys have argued, rather than a collector's item that they're going to cherish, you know? So that's where I think maybe for a lot of people for baseball cards, it was an investment, but I don't know about that. To me, like the story of the baseball collector is of one who really values these cards and wants to display them in their home, you know, and wouldn't dream of breaking up that set even for $1 million, right? And I don't know if that's true or just a story, but that's where it separates a little bit for me. Is
they also wouldn't complete their set with a fake card though. Like, they wouldn't feel good about that. And that
right.
To me is important. Like,
sure,
there's crazy overvaluation of something that can be easily replicated. Like, you could print that one card that you're missing and put in.
So I was kind of where you were at, Chad, about a week ago, right?
Okay.
Where I was like, these people are just buying things because they want to make a shit ton of money, and they think that every single NFT that comes out is going to make them a bunch of money because they're like in on the ground floor or something. This is a good segue into Turkey Doodles. So Turkey Doodles is the NFT. It's not launched yet. It's pre-launch at this point. That Kojak turned me on to. But this is one of these communities where, and I've kind of been immersed in their Discord for the last 3 days, right? So Kojak texted me and was like, I've won 7 pre-release NFTs by playing these stupid games in Discord. Like, you should check it out, right? I think he spammed our Discord. He spammed the Good Guys to Know with a bunch of invites to this stuff. So this is like a random one that I went to. After I bought a rando mice, which is now my avatar, which is, you know, another one of these quote unquote communities, right? But the turkey one is the one that really immersed me in the NFT culture.
So we should join this. I texted Kojak and was like, hey, is this legit? I was getting like friend requests and server requests all of a sudden, and I was like, this doesn't, you know, I think Kojak is old and his Discord got hacked. That's what it felt like to me.
I think it depends on your definition of legit. Like, I'm still figuring that out too as well. And so I like, wildly, the last 3 days have been very intellectually stimulating to me. like to try and figure out not only NFTs, but like to get dropped into this new culture that like I felt very old, to be honest.
fast-
Like it's just people spamming gifs and there's all these little text things that you have to do, and there's this whole culture that I had to try and be involved in. And then to like, you know, this whole shtick about we're building this cool community around these stupid pictures of turkeys that haven't even come out yet. But there's these giveaways, right? And so there's these NFTs, and you get points for how active you are in the Discord, and you earn gold, and you play these games with them that are like these, it's like these survival games that a bot runs, where like, you know, 20 people sign up for it, and then this bot kind of goes through a storyline of people killing each other, and the last man standing wins an NFT. So in playing these dumb games, Kojak is like running this Discord now because it's community driven. He's gotten up to like number 3. He's like worked his way all the way up. I've won 7 pre-release NFTs, so that whenever this thing launches, I get 7 of these turkeys or 6 of these turkeys. Between us. And we've spent 0. So he's in chat. He's also known, AKA Groovin' Hard.
All right, how do I win in this? How do I win in this server? I just joined it.
Yep, you join, and then there's gonna be some.
Can I show this on stream?
I think so. Yeah. So there's a battle royale game.
I think I have
that
streamer
happens.
mode turned on. Let me just make sure.
The game is called Battle Royale, and it's honestly like back to the Prodigy days of chat rooms, because it's just this text-based, like every 10 seconds a new little blurb of text that says, "Oh, Kojak killed Mitchie 6666 with a dagger," and then the next one is like, "Oh, Kojak found some food." Then the next one is Kojak got killed by some other random person, right? And the last man standing.
Is it all
wins.
randomized? Totally randomized, or are you doing anything?
Allegedly, it's totally randomized. Who knows? Like, there's a moderator of this thing. That
I mean, yeah, this
is Penny for your thoughts, Peric.
I'm trying not to sound and feel too old, but that it truly is what it is. And I always told myself, like, you know, I'm kind of a techie kind of guy. I like technology. I'll stay on the cutting edge longer than, you know, most. And this, I don't know if I can keep up with this. But
it's like
maybe it's because
into
of
a
what
new culture.
And Messick just said, opportunity cost. I don't know what that was in reference to, but when I just read that now in my brain, I was like, I got better things to do.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And Turkey Time worth, yeah.
So,
and that's what we're paying for these, you know, quote unquote free NFTs with. But what I can't figure out is to what end? Like what? So there's this team of 3 people that are running this Discord, right? It's 2 people, and then the third guy is the dev. And it's very secretive about when they're going to launch. And once you get to a certain level, like you get to know a little more, you get access to like a private channel for just people that have gotten to level 10. And they tell you like when this launch is going to be, and when this launch happens.
Sounds like Scientology, pretty much.
It is. So here's some different vibes that I've gotten, right? So I get the same vibe I got when we first like started Twitch, where it was like this brand new community, and it was very like incestuous. Like it was like incestuous and like saccharine. Maybe not incestuous is not the right term, but it was like everyone was just pumping each other up. And like it was kind of this frenzy of like, you go to other streams, give them a follow, it's free, just follow them, whatever, subscribe, thanks for gifting the subs. It's like this saccharine sweet, you know, kumbaya thing.
Yeah,
got those same vibes in this NFT community, right? And so all of these sites have a specific channel that's like for shilling. Where like, here's where you go post all the links, the other NFT projects, quote unquote, that are starting to go. So that again, to bring it back to what we started talking about, I think this is all in service of trying to create some sort of intrinsic value, some sort of value that goes beyond just a digital picture. And so feeling part of this community and feeling like you're part of the in crowd is also part of this of the value, right, that Chad is saying doesn't exist, right? It's the baseball card collectors convention that you go to, and you experience some community from having these collections, and you need to have something to play, right? So that's a vibe. I also weirdly got this vibe. So to Messic's point, I got this vibe. Did you guys ever do? I think it was like in the early 2000s where you could sign up for these sites where it was like make a bunch of money by taking surveys all day.
Yeah, I
Like,
remember
I
those.
did that.
I think I did.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And it sounded like this. Oh, companies are willing to pay for my opinion. I could fill out a couple surveys a day and make a little stream of income. And then if you actually tried to do it, like maybe you could eke out like a minimum wage income if you worked hard at it and like did hundreds and hundreds of surveys a day.
I never got selected
And you had to
someone.
qualify for it. Yeah. So these are some of also the same vibes I was getting where it was like, yeah, if you put a ton of and it goes to the fact where you don't know which one of these communities is going to get popular and actually have something that people want to do. So you'd have to join 100 of these communities, like gain all the points in all those communities. Like
Or
it would be a lot of
if
time to put in.
Any of them are going to get popular. And I think we
Right.
need to understand that when we're trying to predict the future on what's going to pop, there's a non-zero chance, a high chance that none of them pop too.
Right.
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 So this is like, yeah.
Which maybe is okay. Maybe you stumble onto one of those 100 and you join a community that you think is cool and their humor is like yours.
Sure.
And you love just hanging out with them.
At that point,
Then that's okay.
That seems absolutely valuable to me. That makes sense, right? Paying for access to be part of a community within which you share some common ground makes total sense, right? This is a very human thing to do, and it brings joy into people's lives, and it's probably worth the money, and it's great, fantastic. So it seems a little shitty, I guess, that someone decided that they were going to social engineer value in their NFT.
Very deliberate
by
to something that usually is emergent. Yeah.
But, you know, maybe no harm, no foul. You know, if it just ends up with people having fun together, who cares? I guess.
And so that's what this channel has been. This turkey thing has just been people kind of having fun and playing this kind of semi-addicting game, where you start off with 20 and last man standing, and you get an NFT or you get a future NFT. Rumble Royal. Yep. Is there one starting?
There's one going on. It's just like the chat is going crazy.
Going nuts. Yeah.
Like, do I join it? What do you do?
You're too late to join it if it's already going on.
Oh,
But
okay.
there'll probably be another one in 30
I
minutes
see
or something.
Kojak is on his mobile already in here, so he's not even listening to us. He's just trying to
Trying to
win some.
Yeah, I don't know what minting is, but so anyway, it was just very
Minting
it was
is what
very
Minnick
interesting
did.
to be immersed in this. Say it again.
Minting is what Minnick did.
Yeah.
creating your own, right? I think
I
that
think
You
is.
have
what
to pay
minting means
money to
is-
do, right?
Once there's a picture, right? There's a picture that's created. Putting that picture on the blockchain is minting it, right? So like verifying it, like kind of like locking it in, I think is minting
So
it.
Minnick does
That doesn't mean
OpenSea, they take care of that for you? Is that the whole thing? Like you don't have to actually physically code that up yourself. There are intermediaries that do all that for you.
But I
So
think
then-
you have to pay for the
what's the
processing
cost of
power
that?
to
Right.
Yeah.
like, associate an address with that
Click the swords.
with that
Click the
NFT.
swords. Click the swords. What does that mean? Let's go. Battle
Click the
Royale.
sword.
What
There's a little reaction button that's the sword.
No, there's a hat
See-
and a crown.
Oh,
Now you're
the sword's coming. The sword's coming. Scroll down. When the sword appears, we'll have 2 minutes. Can you bring this up in stream?
now you're
let's-
just
let's-
playing a multiplayer video game.
Let's play this game.
And there's value in that.
It's just hat
Yes,
and crown.
there is.
Oh,
There
sword.
always has been.
I clicked
value
the
in
sword.
that.
I clicked the sword. Okay.
Okay, so you're in. So this
Let's
is.
go.
I'm telling you, this is back to Prodigy days of like a text-based game, like chat room game.
So
I'm gonna type
this
no
brings,
whammy.
This brings
Look at
up
that.
two things for
I'm
me.
in the chat. I'm in a community, guys.
We're gonna.
just
What
I
if you win an
needed.
NFT right now? A turkey NFT.
GGTK, Kojak. Yes, love it.
It's just
You can wait to gobble that,
Eric's,
bro.
Eric's got a genuine smile on his face from what just happened.
Yeah, it's almost like gambling is fun.
I just love it. Like the community thing I think is interesting, especially when you like take it to an obscene degree and you start talking about these bored apes that are worth millions of dollars. And it's like the people that own those that are in that Discord. I mean, you're talking about like legitimate millionaires, billionaires, famous people. And so like if it's worth it for you to be in a Discord with Jay-Z or LeBron James, like how much is that worth to you? Is it worth $1 million? Buy an ape and you're in this Discord with those people. Like that is real value to me. And the other one that I just keep coming back to is like when you start gamifying these things, it just reminds me how big this virtual marketplace is. Like $1 billion industry of people spending real money on skins for their guns or skins for their characters. Like the amount of ways people make money, waste money, is astounding. And this doesn't feel that far off. Like it doesn't seem like the craziest thing
So,
at all.
Gio, you just corrected yourself by saying initially make money, and then you corrected to waste money, right? So
Yeah,
somebody's making money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think the reason that I initially into this is that I just like Bitcoin. It's like you look back at Bitcoin, it's like, God, I wish I would have bought this 10 years ago. I would have retired if I would have kept it the
17
whole
people
time.
in this Rumble. I have a 1 in 17 chance of winning an NFT right now.
I just joined. Mitchie's in, so
But
it's up to
Chad,
me.
I see Ron. I see
I feel the
Kojak.
same way. Like it's just like this is a lottery ticket, but there's fun
Did
that
I
goes
get in?
along
Did I
with
miss
it,
it?
you know? Like
you
I
I'm
missed it by a second.
good with
missed it
that.
by a
And like
second.
I think there is real value to be had there. If it's a waste of money, like was it worth $100? I don't know. It costs $100 to play around a golf too. I mean,
Well, that's one thing that's interesting as I'm sitting here, like not listening to you guys, watching this stupid chat. Like, clearly, there's a whole economy around value that is completely separate than the NFT, right? It's like
Value around community. That's
yeah,
Facebook, Twitter. I mean, like that's why they're big, right?
right. But then there will be communities where you can only get in if you have this llama, or what are you guys going for again?
Turkeys.
Turkeys. Like you're gonna have to have
8
a turkey
players
to
left,
get in
guys,
there
and I don't.
play
Kojak
these.
and I. Oh no, Kojak found a dagger. What does that mean?
Duck in an animal.
you
What
out?
are you in there as? Are you in as Good Guys to Know, or are you in as yourself?
I'm as Ron. I'm Ron.
Ron, got it. I don't
Oh,
see you.
Kojak got
didn't
killed
see
with
anything
a
happen
rock.
to you yet.
Sorry,
So,
Kojak.
Gio, I've got you at least. I 100% agree there's value in the community, right? Clearly, we've lost half of our show.
Ron
to the
killed
value
himself.
of the
Himself.
community, right? But I still come back to, so for NFTs that aren't attached to a community, because in those places, the NFT is just a admission ticket, right? That you just purchase to be part of the community. And maybe if you're super lucky, the value of your admissions ticket goes through the roof.
Or you build a community, which is what I think a lot of these groups are doing. You build a community that you get, if you can get 1,000 people that care about these stupid turkey pictures and want to trade them and like value them together, then you've created something, right? And they can trade
then
them
you're really
themselves.
a snake oil salesman for sure.
Well,
You
can,
really,
if you're
convince people it's worth something that it's not, is what you're saying.
If
But
you create
then
a
we can get
community-
back to the definition of value.
Beanie Babies, right? That's back to Beanie Babies, right?
Yes.
There's some subset of Beanie Babies collectors that were like into it and into trading with each other. For me, I'd be like, why would you pay $500 for a Jerry Garcia Beanie Baby? Cherry Garcia? What was the one? That was the most expensive one that we had in our household growing up. I don't know what happened to that one.
Fire Festival.
Yeah,
So
there's
Barry Garcia. I
But
think
now
they
we
call
look back at Beanie Babies like that was stupid, right? Or do we see that as a community that provided value? You know what I mean? Like what's your sense looking back at Beanie Babies? Because this could be that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there were also people who sold Beanie Babies and made a ton of money.
You're
Like-
not answering my question, Jeffrey.
I'm-
What's your
What
sense?
was the question?
The question is, how do you feel
Sure.
about the Beanie Babies craze?
Indifferent. Like,
didn't
yeah, there were
invest
probably
myself
people
in
who
it.
loved it. There are probably
Yeah.
people who still love it. It'll probably come back in 10 years and be a craze again. Because No, you guys
That's
are
not
fine
how
now.
I feel about it.
I think-
and I'm kind of surprised. I'm not sure that I 100% believe you, but fair enough. If so, I look back at it and think that was fucking stupid. Like, really, what were they thinking? That
I
they
think
were
it'd be stupid
convinced
if
that those
you-
were going to 100x in value, and now they're stuck holding the bag on a bunch of stupid little stuffed
Literal
Beanie
bags.
baggies. Yeah. Like it ended up being a sham and a waste of money for a lot of people and spoiled dreams and all this stuff that they were.
Did it?
Yeah, I mean, how many of our
man.
parents bought Beanie Babies on the craze that they were going to be worth
Yeah.
XYZ? Mine did. Mitch, you said that you had some at your house.
We had, but I think there was more intrinsic value to Beanie Babies than there is to NFTs. Like they were like actually cute little things that kids like to look
I guess
at.
it depends on what you're
I
into.
have a bunch of stuffed
You would
animals
never
in my
let
house
a
too.
child touch your Beanie Baby if you were a collector and speculator.
Right. Probably not. I think for those collectors and speculators, they had a good time with it and they liked it, and I don't think they got hurt by it. And that there's stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, I Beanie Babies.
Sure.
I didn't spend any money on Beanie Babies, but had I
Fire
been interested
Festival
in the
creative
craze
community.
and spent a bunch of money, I would have spent the amount of money that I could rationalize getting back value for. Like either I really believed that they would appreciate in value, like significantly, in which case that's just putting money down, being comfortable with the risk. Like people do that a billion different ways. Or
Yeah.
I enjoyed collecting, or like this community stuff. I guess like maybe all my friends were doing it, so I did it, and that it wasn't the Beanie Baby that was valuable. It was being part of my friend group.
Part
that
of
was collecting.
yeah. Yep.
There's all.
I think
kinds
that's
of
what they're trying to manufacture, and I
Yeah.
think so. I think to
weird with anonymous
sort of
people on
wrap
the
it up,
internet.
it's like everyone has this logical impulse, like it's a fucking picture of a turkey, right? But
Not
so
even
they
a
try
good
to,
one. It's a
so they
shitty
try
picture of a
so they
turkey.
try to create something around it, right? They try to like manufacture the hype and manufacture the community. And some of these that Kojak has been spamming me, some of them are like, they're going to donate 10% of all the royalties to an environmental cause, right? So you're part of that community now and you're doing good. Like it's just a very interesting. And then the other thing is that it must trend super young. Like I feel like a boomer in these chats, like, and these people, I don't know. I don't get a lot of it, but they're young. I feel like it's young kids, and I would love to know who the mastermind is and like how old they are and like what their story is, that they can be online to like start these stupid text challenges all day, every day.
So you're saying you're really interested in getting to know a bunch of young kids on a very base level and understanding.
When I
their
say
story.
young kids, I mean like legal adult kids.
Do you? Yeah.
That's a really good quote.
That my wife asked me yesterday. So I was sitting in bed yesterday doing these like challenges, and my wife was like, "How many women do you think do those? Are remember those?" And I was like, "Absolutely zero women are
Your
in this
wife-
turkey
that's not
doodles
true.
chat right now.
Your
I
wife was
guarantee
hilarious. She's
it.
so
I guarantee
brutal.
it.
When's the next Rumble
Is
Royale
this-
going to start? How many of those a day do they do? That's quite fun. I used to love AOL chat rooms, like the trivia ones. Not to bring up
Here we
trivia.
go.
Sorry, guys, too soon. But I would. Oh my god, it was just like the first person to type the answer would get 10 points or whatever, and then it.
So last
They would
night we
have a
did
bot keep
something
track of
like that
points.
on this in the Turkey Doodles thing. It was like a Pictionary thing where it was like they would throw up a sketch of something. Again, it's just some bot or whatever, but that was more of a team-based thing where like the channel together was trying to get a streak of more than 37. of like guess the picture. It was, I mean, it's like so rudimentary and simple, but like you build it, you know, you start to know the screen names, right? I was never into chat rooms, but like I can see the appeal of like building an online community and like making friends online and things like that. So I
Well,
don't know.
hold on a sec. There is appeal to just building any kind of community.
Right.
And part of me wonders if the NFT thing is benefiting from the isolation that the world is in right now. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
there were a couple things that had to happen. Blockchain had to be around. You had to be able to connect with people very easily over a virtual platform, and then you had to be seeking some type of community or susceptible to some type of fear of missing out, right? And it makes me wonder if people were still getting as much of their sense of community from in-person interactions as they used to be, if this would have as much steam as it does.
Would this be as
Yeah.
big as it is? Yeah, that's a really interesting take.
I don't fault people at all for wanting a sense of community. That makes all the sense in the world. We all want that, right? And if you get it virtually, fine, because there's not a lot of other great options at the moment. But that's, again, I keep coming back to, that makes sense. That I can wrap my head around. That's not valuing this whole other thing. And value is such a loaded word, which we've gone over and over and over. But I don't know. That's where my mind kept going as I was thinking about this challenge, is trying to understand, how do I value things? What is it that I'm opposed to about this? I kept landing on, well, there's no intrinsic value to this. I would try and think of, well, what are the things that I own that don't have intrinsic value? And there's some, most of them are investment vehicles, right? They're given value because I'm pretty sure that I can sell them for money at some point when I want to. And if there wasn't a market for that, then they wouldn't be valuable. But a lot of the other things I own have value because they help my day-to-day or provide some form of entertainment or nostalgia or connection or whatever. NFT does nothing like that for me. And I'm concerned that compared to the stocks I own in my 401k, my ability to offload an NFT is much less.
Yeah,
That really concerns me about NFT. Like I said before, those barriers to transacting, it was supposed to be the whole crypto shtick, right? That it was supposed to make things super easy and super smooth, and it's not yet. And it's been 10 years of crypto, and it's still not smooth. Like, will it ever be? Or is cash and checking and credit cards just as good, even better? Like that, it's way better for me to use Google Pay with my credit card stored in my Google Wallet from my phone than it was to do this NFT crap. It was hard, and
When you were talking about logging into Coinbase and converting your, what were you converting into? Something I hadn't heard of with a W in front or something?
So I went to Coinbase. I needed to then download a Coinbase wallet, like a wallet app, because I needed a wallet. I couldn't just have it in Coinbase. I needed to have it in a wallet. Swords are up. All right, let me get in there as well. Then, just give me 1 second here. I'm just checking the exact. Yes. There we go. Okay. So then I had the Coinbase wallet connected to my OpenSea account, right? Yep. But then you couldn't just buy things straight up with Ether. So then I had to transfer the Ether to OpenSea. Or maybe I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to do that. No. But when at the point of sale, when you're actually going to buy something, that's when you have to pay the gas fee, right? And so there's this other derivative currency called wrapped Ether or Polygon or something. There's a couple other different ones that you can do a one-time conversion and then not pay those gas fees going forward or something. So it's just a lot of steps, and it's a lot of confirming on your phone, and it is not smooth.
Do you think people are making money on those steps? Like, are all those mandatory, or are they purposely, like toll booths so that someone can shake a little extra coin out of your pocket?
That's an interesting question.
It's one of those rabbit holes that I couldn't get down. I mean, I think it's plausible that there's processing power involved with verifying these transactions, right? Somebody needs to do whatever complicated math there is to verify that this transaction is happening and move it.
And we
But if
totally
that-
trust
but
that
if-
person to not charge any more than it costs them.
Right.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So if it costs them time and processing power, they're going to charge that. And
Yeah.
right now, it seems like that is way more than it takes Visa to charge my transaction when I buy something with my credit card.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
That's
All
a 1% fee. This is like a 300% fee.
it's not regulated in any way. That's the other thing we didn't talk about at all. I know,
We
Gio,
didn't-
you're trying to move us on,
but I think it's
one of the
programmatic,
risks
so
of
it's not like
NFT.
they, it's not like they can change the fees. I think it's all like predetermined, and so high volume and high fees are all, it's all like part of a, for some of these things, like an open source algorithm type thing. So it's not like they're not necessarily gouging. It's like they'll tell you the rules and that type of thing. I think it's, you know, it's not always as simple as like, hey, the guy who runs Ethereum is charging a lot of fees right now.
No, I'm oversimplifying it, but I also recognize that the people who totally understand all of those details are probably few and far between. And most of the time, when there's a chance for someone to make money and they feel like they can get away with it, they do. So I'm just skeptical about those kinds of things. The other piece that just needs to be recognized anytime you own a digital asset is that that doesn't exist on your computer, right? It doesn't exist like in a safe. It's on a server somewhere, right? And if someone decides to just wipe that, what happens to Mitch's NFT? Where is your disco penguin or your turkey doodle stored, and who is the security guard?
Isn't that part of the power of blockchain, is that these are
Yes.
redundantly stored, so even if one is wiped out, it's still
But
duplicated all across the world on different
it's
servers?
not my understanding is it's not the NFT that's stored, it's the address to the NFT. The NFT itself, the code that makes up that image, is stationary somewhere. That doesn't exist on the blockchain. It's the directions to that item that exist on the blockchain, right? I might have that wrong. I don't know. That's something I
I think
read
it's
when I was looking into stuff.
I think it's proof that the transaction happened.
Right. So it's not the item that you own. It's a ledger.
Mhm.
It's a receipt.
Right, but that
I
receipt
think that's the whole
is
point of
on-
Ethereum. So I think you're talking about like a Bitcoin blockchain, which is all just about a ledger of transactions. I think that what Ethereum brings to the table is that yes, you can actually give a place on the blockchain to that image, right, or to that digital, whatever, ones and zeros. They put that on the blockchain.
Which then is accessed by any computer that's hosting the blockchain or logged into
I think
the
so.
blockchain or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably way out of my depth at that point.
Well,
But
so that's not my understanding. I am basing this off of one source, and I have no ability to verify this whatsoever because it's so far past my head. But what they were saying is that these things are stored on a server. Your blockchain redundancy is just a map to those items rather than the item itself. So you're just trusting that wherever that exists, it will continue to exist and isn't getting sold to somebody. Right? And that's potentially problematic.
Yeah, I don't feel
I'll send you a thing. I'll send you where I got that from.
it sounds counterintuitive to blockchain in general, what you're saying, but it's possible, I suppose.
Well, yeah,
Let's move on. Let's move on. It's way too late. I don't want to talk about this
I've
anymore.
got so many more questions. We're going to have to keep this up at some point.
Here's the deal. Do you guys want to do significant surrender first or challenge first? Are there any listeners who are going to come in for challenge?
Speak now.
go into the lounge if you want to
All right, challenge. I got the
add your
challenge.
audio. Yeah.
I just advanced to level 1, guys, in Rumble Royal.
Wordle.
Welcome. Wordle.
Wordle.
Wait a minute, what?
What now?
I think that's what it's called. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
Wordle. Let me just
wait.
double check.
What are you even
Sounds
saying?
like a game. Sounds like
Does
a
it
word
have
game.
any intrinsic value?
Have you guys
Scrabble?
seen this? Like, it's like people posting on Facebook
Brandon
or
loves
social
Wordle.
media things where it's like different colored boxes. It's always 5 boxes, and it says like 3 out of 6 solved it today. So Wordle is a word guessing game, and it was created basically by this dude for his wife or girlfriend, and she was like really into these word puzzles. So he created this word game. And the way it works is every day there's a different 5-letter word, and you have 6 guesses, random guesses, to get that, to figure out what that word is. And there's different colors for if you have the right letter in the right place, if you have the right letter in the wrong place, or if that letter's not there at all.
So it's like, what was that game?
Mastermind.
Mastermind.
It's kind of like Mastermind, but for words. So this is like on social media. This is it's everywhere. Everybody is playing this.
Yeah. Brandon
So
says it's like the old Mastermind game concept.
I've been
what we're
off
doing.
of social
Definitely leaving
media
this
for the
to
last 3
go
days,
play Wordle.
only on turkey doodles. So
We are playing Wordle.
Good for you.
Wordle.
How do you? It's an
Plus
app.
letter can.
so that's
an
the
app.
whole challenge. Just play Wordle.
Play Wordle.
Oh,
We don't
okay.
want to like
we're not gonna
connect
do
to
it.
each other.
Oh,
Can,
I
like,
thought
play
we were gonna do
against
it
people,
live.
or
Yeah, where's the sense of community here, Jeffrey?
It sounds like
Mitch is
everybody
real
in our
addicted.
chat is playing it.
I'll send you guys each if you get it right, I'll send you a special picture of a llama.
And you never know, Jay-Z might buy that llama. Rich.
Right, Jay-Z
Let's
and
go.
Llama.
Jay-Z llama. Dre llama. So yeah, we're playing Wordle.
Yay, llama. He'd
Let's
buy
wor-
it.
I don't think there has to be competition. I think
May I stick with the pro tip?
let's say who gets the most correct.
Most solutions
in 2
are
weeks.
plural with an S. So
Okay.
the last letter will never be S. Is that? Do they publish that
There-
as like a thing?
You should look up the rules there. It's a little more complex than what I just said, but
Only gets 3.5 stars. That's interesting. With 3 stars, actually.
Wait, it's an app.
it's an app.
no solution
Yes,
are plural with an
boomer.
S.
I was sorry. I was trying to win an NFT. I wasn't really listening.
Okay,
Classic
here's the deal.
boomer.
No listeners in the lounge, which is fine. All right, we have a slight variation on significant surrender this year, and it's specifically to get me in the ball game. I want to play. So
Just for the viewers, I zeroed out all the counts. It was a very sad day for me. I think last time I couldn't get the bot working, and
Yep.
we couldn't figure it out, but I figured it out, and
so here's the thing. So one of the 4 of us is going to have to read clues every week, which gives the listeners an advantage if someone plays every week, because basically we're losing theoretically 1 out of 4 weeks. The
like
way
we're
we
busy.
determine who reads cards for that week is whoever gets the last correct answer on a week is the person who is reading for the following week.
okay.
So
It's
there,
kind of like that. Whoever
there's a
gets the last
tiny
birdie on the
bit-
golf trip.
Well, you can
pot.
get the
Yeah,
first
there's a-
question right, but if everybody gets everything else wrong, it's still you.
You're reading the next week. Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a tiny bit of game theory, I think, in this, especially as we get deeper in the year. But the last person to get a question right is reading. So the other thing is,
And never a
starting
listener
next
reading.
week,
Never a listener reading.
starting next week, you guys each need to come with Trivial Pursuit cards. It can be any version of Trivial Pursuit, any that you choose. If you-
Interesting.
If you don't have cards next week, you can't score.
Got it.
You're in a blackout period until you show up with cards, regardless of if you're going to have to read or not.
So it
So
really
you're-
behooves us to for the ones that we're gonna have in our stations to have the hardest Trivial Pursuit cards ever, because we know we're not gonna score any points.
Right?
Okay.
If nobody
Wait.
gets anything right, you read again.
We can have any version.
Ooh.
You can have
That
any
seems-
version of Trivial Pursuit.
Okay.
I mean, it's still
Like
a trivia
French,
game.
I
You
can
can
have
have
a
a
French version.
Can I
Star
have a French
Wars.
version?
You can do whatever you want. But again, if nobody gets anything right, it goes back to the last correct answer, which was the previous week, which would be you.
Yeah.
So, that's very rarely going to happen.
I wish-
Like,
Yeah, Damaran, I agree.
what's the problem?
This is an exciting twist. Also, we didn't mention Damaran's comment earlier. Has Mitch been speaking French this entire podcast? Comprehension level is struggling. Just go join the
Best way to
Turkey
learn is to
Trot
just join the Turkey Doodle
Discord or
Discord.
whatever it's called.
All right,
No.
so here we go. This is the last week. Well, probably.
That's
at least till next week, hopefully, that I'm going to be reading cards. Are you guys ready?
Unless we get nothing right.
Entirely possible. That would be
So
an
we've
interesting
checked the
wrinkle
lounge,
if you
right?
guys
Nobody's
all
jumped
spend
in
the
the
whole year getting nothing right.
Then we never have to buy Trivial Pursuit cards.
We got a lot of viewers right now, compared to our average. Nobody wants to hop in the lounge and Discord. Okay.
First question. What Arabic term did Palestinians give to the uprising that broke out on December 9th, 1987?
Arabic term?
Mitch.
Chad.
Jihad.
Nope. Chad?
Oh, yeah, I definitely wasn't going to guess that.
That was just
I think that means holy war.
Name an Arabic term? Allah?
No. This is a toughie.
No guess.
It's intifada.
Oh, Antifada.
Antifa.
Right?
Intifada.
Intifada. No, that's right.
Anyways.
I've heard of that. That's a thing.
Have you? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Next question. I think you guys might get this. Who hosted This Old House before
Perrick.
heading? Perrick was first.
No.
Bob Vila.
Bob Vila is correct. Before heading home
Is that what
again.
you're gonna say, Chad?
It was Bob Vila.
Of course. I
I
love
heard you
that
say
show.
before, and I thought you were gonna say before Bob Vila, and I thought,
You had a chance.
yeah.
That's why we
My
don't really
internet
think.
takes
Yes,
a while
but-
to get to Geo.
Yeah.
This is
Perrick
an
and I are-
unfair advantage. You guys are like 2 blocks away. You need to bury some cable to keep this even.
All right. Next question. Who sued Abe Hirschfield for not coughing up the $1 million he promised her for dropping a lawsuit against Bill Clinton?
Perrick.
Perrick?
Chad.
Monica Lewinsky.
Nope. Chad?
Definitely wasn't going to guess that. God damn it. Hillary Clinton.
Interesting guess, no?
Can I get the question again?
Who sued Abe Hirschfield for not coughing up the $1 million he promised her for dropping a lawsuit against Bill Clinton?
Who is Flowers?
No. It was Paula
Abdul.
No. Oh, Jones.
Jones. Paula Jones.
Was there someone named Flowers that had something with Bill Clinton?
I don't think so.
No, you just
Okay.
sound like an idiot.
Struggling here. What most fearless magazine in politics broke David Brock's Troopergate story?
Oh my goodness.
Chad.
Chad?
The Hill.
Nope. Perrick? You guys gonna touch
Literally.
tips again?
Literally my guess, and I know it's not even a magazine. National Enquirer.
Nope.
Chad.
Chad already guessed.
Mitch. Time.
No,
New
it's
York
the,
Post.
The American Spectator. All right. Tuffy, next question. How many of every 5 child safety seats are used
Perrick.
incorrectly?
Mitch.
Perrick?
4.
4 is correct.
Come on.
I mean, it's like,
Oh, but
it's
that
like you guys
means
have never
Perrick.
played this game.
Wait, was that the last one, or you got one more?
Yeah. But Perrick already had the last one, so running the streak is the way to do it. Perrick's at 2. Last question. How many bulls bite the dust annually in Spanish
Perrick.
bull rings? Perrick.
50.
Uh-uh.
It's going to be a multiple choice.
Obviously.
But I'm pretty sure it's going to be close to 50.
11,000? 33,000?
I guess-
Or 55,000?
Mitch. Mitch.
Which one's closest to 50?
55,000.
It's not 55,000.
How many more questions do we have?
Oh my
This is
god.
That's the last question.
5,000.
It wasn't a choice. So you're
Chad's
opting out,
throwing it.
right?
He's
Okay.
that confident in his trivia skills.
Very courageous.
The answer was
11,000.
11,000.
In my head,
That's a
can I
lot of
explain?
bulls that die.
in my head, I was like, okay, well, they have a bullfight once a week. They have once a week, and like the main event is that they have to, get the right artery, right? It's like, maybe sometimes they don't get it. Let's say 50. It's Trivial Pursuit. Give a nice round answer. But then I didn't quite remember that there are probably thousands of bullfighting rings.
Bull rings in, what is it?
I guess maybe just in Spain, not thousands, but
Spain.
You guys are welcome for taking Peric out of it next week.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, good job, Chad. So Peric,
what was the answer?
It was 11,000. It was the smallest number.
The one that was closest to 50.
Technically closest. Oh, nice answer. Nice answer. Well,
total.
Good
Jeez,
podcast,
that's a
guys.
lot of dead bulls. 11,000.
It's a lot.
All right.
A lot of dead bulls.
Are we going to do this raid thing this year?
We should make a dead bull community.
I feel like
do this what thing?
Raid. I feel like it's lost its luster a little bit. I don't know.
Brian, take us to a random NFT. We're going to really make this NFT thing happen.
Oh no.
Peric,
I just
make sure you upload this to YouTube.
So, should we go outro or should we raid? What do we want to do?
Outro. Screw raids. I'm done with that.
Let's do it every once in a while when we're feeling it, right?
But I like that.
Like,
don't we have a bunch of listeners?
Yeah, we got a good crew right now. We should raid.
We do.
Let's raid when we have some chat.
All right.
What do people want to see? Do we want to see music? I tend towards music because it's like nobody wants to watch video games, right?
I mean,
not really.
I want to play video games.
Yeah, but here's music, and then it's sorted. Viewers load.
Music is fun because every once in a while you get a small enough one, and they'll like work Good Guys to Know into their.
But it's got to be small, right? Like it's got to be.
Yeah, it's got to be less under 50.
Yeah, under 50 for sure.
How about a unique instrument though, like a hammered dulcimer?
Wow.
Okay.
Or like a solo saxophone.
You know what instrument you guys should buy? You guys all know how to play piano, right?
Yeah.
You guys should all buy. I bought this for my kids for Christmas.
Harpsichord?
No. I don't know if it's technically called a melodica or a melodeon, but it's like a little mini keyboard that you hook a hose up to and you blow into the hose, and when you push the keys down, it plays the note. It is so fun to play.
Really?
Yes. It's amazing.
All right.
I've threatened to buy an accordion.
You can get them
for
$15 on Amazon. They're really good. Man loops while wrestling walrus. What happens next will shock
I thought you said lubes, and I was like, that's not something that I want to know.
That's not the one. That's not the one.
Loops. I'm just checking chat because I know there are tons of suggestions pouring into the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, Jennifer Flowers. That was something related. That was some woman related to the Clinton stuff. I'm gonna look that up.
How about someone?
Thanks, Messick.
Do people stream just like doing something peaceful? Going for a walk or something? Is that Gio? You're looking at me like I'm an idiot.
Between that and your NFT takes, I'm having a real hard time with you right now, Chad.
Let's go to progressive
I'm trying to
melodic
expand our
goodness.
horizons a little bit.
LFG,
you get so
happy
focused
hump
on
day.
what
As long as
Moisty-
it's traditional value-based things.
How about Moisty DJ?
What I'd
Progressive
like is
melodic
someone-
goodness. He's a DJ. Have we done? We did
Reading
one DJ.
quietly, preferably scripture.
Sitting in a deer stand for hours on end, silent.
I've already.
That's
I've already
good. That's
convinced
okay,
myself
too.
DJ's lame. I want live music.
No facial hair.
Engaging in an
shirt
online
button
community?
up.
No way. Yeah, let's do the DJ thing, Peric. Sorry.
Or, hey, how about have we done Insomniac Rap? This
No,
guy
I've never
talked.
heard of that.
I don't think we've ever. So this is a guy that I.
Comedy act.
No. He's a freestyle rapper.
But next time.
No, we're gonna do it now. We haven't rated Insomniac Rap.
We did a freestyle rapper once, but let's do it.
Like he does, like he's this weird dude. He's like this old guy, this old white guy.
Let's see. Let's rate him. Just rate him.
Giving us too much.
Good enough.
Giving us too much
already.
Let's just go.
Peace out, everybody.
You know the pressure of.
I do need to
recommend
propose to the mods and the turkey doodles to stop people from saying LFG, the let's fucking go thing. I am so over that saying. I don't care if it makes me sound like a boomer. It's done. Stop doing it.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying
let's
3 words?
Go. Let's fucking go. It's so dumb. It's just so dumb.
I think I might have said it.
Stop it, Gio, in chat.
All right, let's go. 10. Oh, we got 11 viewers, 12 viewers, guys. We're hot. We hot.
LFG, baby.
That's what Chad says.
This guy's great. He's very nice. And give him suggestions. He freestyles what you type in chat. So let's, be active.
Someone suggest turkey doodle. I'm gonna do it.
God, it's a cult. It's
all right, we're going. Here we go.
officially a cult.
Let's get it.
Mean mug 'em a lot. Nobody is safe on the beat. I jump on a lot. It's a juggernaut size operation, gonna take them to the skies. They could thank God, or they could hang a lot around while I'm making this a Shangri-La. You won't need a receipt though when your receipt flows. Am I sneaking the man? Probably I'll release the quotes incognito. I'm like Neo in the Matrix, in the thick of that with my phrases. The crystal glass is gonna break if I hit it. I'll make an example in a minute. To show how skilled I am, the flow's gonna spill again. I'm willing to concentrate the way I make a phrase like a freight train coming through. No need for a Scantron and number 2. Pencil, don't take it personally when I'm mentally wrecked down on an instrumentalist bedlam. I might behead again, put the head back on just to decapitate it a second time. I told them to be treading lightly if they can, leave it in neutral.